Hi, my name's Pam. You guys might have seen me roaming around with my Grace Kids t-shirt on. I have been working at Gracegate for 2.5 years now, loving it. Such a great team and just great to be working with a group of Christians. Basically, my Christian journey started when I was 16, when my mum's hairdresser suggested that my sister and I go along to her son's youth group. And so my sister and I nervously went along because we'd never been exposed to anything like that. And I met a boyfriend there, and so did she. And my boyfriend was the one who gave me my first Bible and just introduced me to God. And I remained strong in my faith. I was with him until we moved to New Zealand. And my plan was to just move to New Zealand and go back to South Africa. But I fell in love with New Zealand and got a job here, met a whole group of friends, not necessarily church friends, but at the age of 29, I found myself going through a divorce, which was really not what I was expecting. I was hoping to have had kids by then and just start for a family, but I just knew we couldn't bring a family into that situation. It was pretty bad. Yeah, I took a turn for the worse. Very foolishly decided to go against everything that I had, all my beliefs, going to church, listening to Christian music, decided I didn't want anything to do with Christian men anymore, and didn't want to pray. I actually said to God, I'm not praying to you, and I didn't for 4 whole years. I actually was suffering a really painful condition called chocolate cysts. It's basically a form of endometriosis, which is more commonly, it's like a very severe form of that. I needed 3 surgeries for that, which was really scary time of my life because I needed the surgery so urgent. I didn't even have time to go onto the public waiting list, so I had to pay for it myself, which all up it was about $30,000, and I had just come out of a separation and had I didn't have much at all. After the first surgery, I was just literally being wheeled out of theatre, and I've been told, sorry, it wasn't successful, we're going to need another surgery. And I got the most amazingly timed phone call that I will never forget. It blew my mind. It was my then modelling agent, because I used to do some modelling work, and she was telling me how a modelling job that I had done a whole year earlier had gone and had been selected to go on billboards worldwide, and it was going to be the biggest paying fee that I'd ever received from any modelling job. And once she had told me, I said to her, do you know where I am? I've just been wheeled out of theatre and I've just been told I need another operation, which is going to be another $10,000, which I didn't even have, $10,000 for the first operation. So it was God providing, and it meant so much to me because I really felt like he was saying, hey, you just get better, breathe, I've got you. And that always makes me teary. But so Grant and I got engaged, and we'd been living together for 18 months. And we were on the waiting list actually for IVF because my doctors had told me that I would never have children naturally, and it was, going to be a real push to have children with IVF, but we thought we'd give it a try. And we'd been on this waiting list for 6 months, and had just found out that I'd been accepted for IVF, and I felt God calling me back in a big way. And I just knew that I knew in my heart that I needed to move out because we had been living together, and I knew that we needed to wait before we tried for a baby, I was torn between fear and faith. I just remember fear or faith. You know, are you going to have faith in this God that you know is calling you back, or are you going to hang on to fear of losing this house and this relationship and your place on the waiting list? But I knew that, I needed to obey and be obedient. I started going to a life group up the road from where we are now. It's just kind of like trying to grapple with that. And eventually I was just like, no, I've got to end this relationship, give back the engagement ring, and move out and ground myself with God. And I did. And I just felt that peace that I hadn't had for so long. But the other option was torture. It was quite unbearable, really, for so long. I just spent the next 4 years just living on my own, grounding myself in God, going for every course I could at church, and just serving. But God gave Grant back to me after those 4 years of separating, and I think we dated for about 9 months before we got married. And through all those years, I'd sort of put aside my desire for a baby, and entered that marriage thinking it's not really going to happen. Years have gone by since the doctor said it was impossibility. And I was at that stage 38 when we got married, and I was married for a month, and God placed a miracle baby in our lives, and I now have this beautiful, healthy boy, and conceived him naturally. It was the biggest miracle of my life. Since then, we've lost a baby, which hasn't been easy, but I'm just so grateful that I became a mum. And it was a complete surprise to both of us. But God is so good, and He's totally provided financially, with my dreams, and just blessed me. But sometimes it just takes taking that first brave step, and in obedience, and He honors that. Facing the future, it's wonderful because I have lived enough life to know that God will catch me no matter what. If I look back on everything I've been through, and I can see that He has called me every time. He has provided for me every time. He has wrapped me in His love every time, made Himself audible to me, when I needed Him most. And just surprised me even with my deepest dreams. And I guess, I came so close to falling away from God and missing out on everything that I experience in my relationship with Him now. And I guess my encouragement to you is, don't let disappointments get to you so much that you just go, that's it, God, turning my back on you, I'm never coming back. Or even just losing faith completely on life. Your best life is with God, and allowing Him to fill you up and be the driver at the steering wheel, and He wants to give you good things. He's not a mean Father. He is a very loving Father who wants to provide. He wants to give you your best life, and it might not be an easy road, but it's the one that's going to develop the most character in you, and allow you to shine to others and be compassionate to them, and understand them and help them along the way, which is His heart. And that, I think, is the biggest message from my journey that I've learnt, is choose to have faith. Don't follow fear. Fear is not of God. There's no room for God in fear. And once you realize how much God just truly loves you, you know there's no room for fear in that. And yeah, you can go boldly into the future.